Good morning, everyone. This is David Blair, the Crosshairs Trader. I trust that you had a wonderful day yesterday and will make it a great day today, both in and outside the charts. Before we get to the charts, let me mention a tool on my website that may be a great source of information for you, particularly because of the fact that we're getting ready to enter into earnings season. For me, I need to know an earnings date for a stock that I'm trading or considering to trade, simply because I do not like to be in a position when a stock goes through its earnings. A couple of reasons. You never know what an earnings report's going to do to a stock. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the trade. I also like to know when earnings date are, because the earnings date can give you some more volatility in the stock going up into earnings, and it can give you some great opportunities to trade that stock, and then post earnings you can follow that stock as well. But I do not like to trade through earnings. I like to know when that date is. So on my site, you can see in the right-hand sidebar is an earnings date locator. You simply type in any company symbol, and briefing will pop up and give you the latest earnings date here, and you can get more information about these stocks on briefing. It's free, but it's a nice little tool that I've added to my site so that you can easily find out when a company's earnings date is. Okay, so take advantage of that. You can also subscribe here at RSS feed, Twitter, and by email, and receive my updates when I post them. All right, let's get to the stocks. This morning, yesterday we had a big up day. That's yesterday. And it looks like we're trying to break out again of this consolidation. We've been talking about consolidation for the last several reports, that we really needed to break out of what I call this Lego market. And what I mean by that is a green candle, red candle, green candle, red candle. And it looks like we're trying to do that with the move yesterday. However, unless we're breaking out to brand new highs, we always have to consider the next levels of resistance. Same with support. Unless we're breaking down to new lows, we always have to consider levels of support. So when I look at the S&P futures, we go back to May of this year, and we had a level here that found some resistance. We're about to hit that at 1162. We've been talking about that the past few days, but once we can break through that, if that is possible, we can head to the highs of the year, which go back to April. Also, for those who are crosshairs traders, we know what this dotted line is on our daily chart. This comes from the weekly chart. This is a moving average, major moving average from the weekly chart that we also have to be mindful of as possible resistance. I have my moving averages from the weekly chart superimposed on my daily chart. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures. Same thing going on. NASDAQ futures had a nice little pullback, which we wanted. Actually pulled back to the support level we had been watching at 1966. Right here. And again, we have the highs of the year on the NASDAQ futures fast approaching. So that's a level that we simply have to be aware of if we're playing positions and have money on the table. All right, let's take a look at the S&P itself. Nice breakout yesterday after the consolidation, so we'll see if that can continue. Again, the same resistance that we were looking at on the futures. It's right here at 1171 on the S&P 500 index. And then we have the price resistance from the high and the moving average from the weekly chart also to think about, and you can see that easily right here. So we're entering a zone here on the weekly chart to just be aware of for possible resistance. Okay, one thing to keep in mind. OEX, S&P 100 is staying above its major moving average here as support, broken out here. We'll see if that can continue and head up to the 530 area, which would be the next resistance zone. The Dow, last one, is already up to a resistance area, possibly from the weekly chart. That's our major moving average, and then we could head back up to the highs, which is near 11,200 for the year. Almost seems impossible that we could be reaching the highs again, but that's what's going on. When we look at the Dow on the weekly chart, you can see that moving average is fast approaching where there could be a level of resistance. Again, resistance does not necessarily mean reversal. It could mean pause, or it could mean absolutely nothing, and the market could just ignore it. But it is an area of price resistance from a previous high this year in the spring, and the moving average that we have to be aware of. Let's talk about a few stocks that we've been watching, one of which fired a crosshair on the weekly chart. This is Penn West Energy Trust. Just wanted to pay attention to. When there's a crosshair on the weekly chart, it usually gives us an indication of a stock's direction, possible direction over the next few weeks to months. We had one fire here last week off of a major moving average and a price support at the same time. We do have to be mindful of about a $21 resistance area here, and then the major moving average. So that's PWE. Keep in mind, look for its earnings date. Apple, I said April, didn't I? Apple did exactly what we wanted it to do. It had broken out to a high, and then what we like to watch is to see that the stock prove to us that the breakout is authentic. And what I mean by that is I like to see it come back. You big money likes to see that it be tested. It was tested right at that high, and yesterday started a move up. Apple, if the market's going to rally to the end of the year, is going to be a great stock to watch to go to 300, and then we'll have to see where it's going to go beyond that. But Apple is one to watch. SPG, fired a crosshair on the weekly chart. We've actually got what's called a golden cross setting up as well, as our one major moving average crosses the other one, but we do have a crosshair. It's broken out on that weekly. We do have to be mindful of a price resistance and a psych resistance, which is the 100 mark. Just need to be mindful of that, but we're at 95, so that gives us some room to run, and we see what's happening on the daily chart. It's consolidated for several days here, and now looks like it's going to try to break a high here. If it does, it could easily head to the 100 mark, so SPG is one that we're watching. Just quickly, some recent crosshairs that us crosshairs traders have traded, just to give you an idea of what we look at. BEXP actually went up to a resistance area, but we had a crosshair here, beautiful crosshair. I know I've talked about it before, off some moving averages, price support, breaking out, and we were aware of some resistance areas where it paused, then got up to another resistance zone, I call it up here, which is its highs, and that's where we are on BEXP. FXI was also another one that has gapped up to a high. This was a nice trade after it broke out here and headed higher for several dollars. This actually fired a crosshair on our intraday chart right here, breaking out. Nice move on FXI. which is the China fund. Okay. WLL is one that we just recently entered. Had a crosshair on the weekly chart, broke out here. Now we can change this, what was resistance, into a support area, but we're watching to see it move up possibly to the 105 area. It is now at the 100 area, which could be a psych level, could make it pause, but here you can see the breakout. Came back and tested that area at 93 and then has continued to rise. So that's WLL. There's a lot of oil stocks, folks, that are beginning to perk up. Keep in mind oil stocks. Okay, PCP is one we've been watching. Also had a crosshair on the intraday chart right here. Came back and tested a support area several times, and now looks like it is poised, hopefully poised to continue higher to a resistance level that we're watching at around 135. But for those who got down in this area, got into this trade as it broke out, you're already making some good money. Just need to manage this trade and watch and see if it can go up a few more dollars. If not, then get out and take your profit. Those are the things we've been watching, along with many others. If you're interested in the premium services that I offer and interested in becoming a Crosshairs trader, hey, welcome to have you. Simply email me at david@crosshairstrader.com. In the meantime, enjoy your day, both inside and outside the charts, and I'll see you next time in the Crosshairs.